Hi there, it's Jen, and it is Friday, November 25th, and I'm here with you, and I'm going to make a project live with you. But first, what I wanted to do was to do a draw for what I did last week. So that's what I do every week. I make a card, and then if you comment, like, or share the video, so this video here currently, then I'll put you in the draw for next week. So if you want to get in on this week's draw, what I'm making this week, just comment, like, or share. So what I've done is I've got a uh, oh my goodness, I can't talk. A contest set up on another tab. So I'm going to go ahead and um, bring up that page. I cannot talk today. And then I will do that draw. So hold on a second. Let me just share this screen. And it'll just look funny for a second. Here we go. And so anyone who commented, liked, and shared last week, they're in the draw here. And you have to be Canadian and not a demonstrator to win. And Deb, nice comment, Deb, but Deb is in fact a demonstrator. So let's try again. Oops, let me scroll back up here. Let's start again. So Canadian and not a demonstrator. Also a demonstrator, Linda. Let's go ahead and pick another winner. Hold on a second. Did I just scroll away? Okay, here we go. Third time's a charm, right? Evelyn, awesome. Evelyn, I think you won the week before too. You're really getting lucky. Okay, so Evelyn, this card that I made, let me just stop the share here, last week is yours. So I'll get that in the mail to you. I have your address, so that's great. So just a quick note here before I go further and make the card. You may have attempted to get a mystery box from me today, but I have sold out of them. I wish I could make more. I just don't have any more products to make more. I'm scrambling, trying to fulfill the last couple of orders. I may actually have to do a refund for a couple of people because it sold out faster than I could turn off the button. So thank you for that. I'm actually looking at possibly another thing for a Black Friday special. I wasn't going to put it together because I wasn't sure if the mystery boxes would sell. But if there's an email that's going to come out, watch for that later today, okay? So let me just switch it over to my hands here. It's nice to see you there, Nicole. Hello, hello. How are you? Okay, so I am doing something today that was requested by somebody. And what they would requested was how to use embossing folders and use them in a partial way. So, for example, this is an embossing folder. I should have got a darker piece of paper to show you. Let me just see if I can get a catalog really quick here. Not that that's much darker, but this is an embossing folder, maybe just white paper. Hopefully you can see that. Oh, you know what? Here, I'll just show you the cover. This is called the Whimsical Woodland Embossing Folder. So it's a big embossing folder. It's a 6x6. So it can do the whole front of your card. But what happens if you just want a little tiny piece of this? So that is what I'm going to show you today. So I'm going to first start by stamping this piece of cardstock, and I'm using this stamp set here. It's Christmas to Remember. It's not in the mini catalog, it's in the annual catalog. So that's one of the ones that was available last year and it carried over, and I'm so glad because it's got lots of nice Christmas sayings and nice font. So I'm going to start with Evening Evergreen, and I'm going to stamp this Have a Holly Jolly Christmas right here. Okay, so now what I'm going to want to do is I'm going to put the trees in on this side right here. And I actually don't even want it to cover the whole side. I just want a little tiny sliver of those trees. So I'm going to show you how you do that. So on this folder, hold on, I'm going to get a dark piece because I think it might show up better. Oh, how about this? The actual mat. Oh yeah, that shows up nice. So you can see here on this is not what I'm doing. I'm just trying to use this for illustration purposes. So there's this nice kind of bear tree and a couple of other trees. So I kind of want to go in this center area here is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to you need to give that a second to dry, otherwise it'll smear. So I've got one here that's been sitting here. So I'm going to put this in here. And whenever you're using these folders, you want to look for the little Stampin' Up! Logo, and that's going to be the front of your card. If I was to flip this over, it would be embossed the other way. So I want the raised tree stuff to be on the side that I've stamped. So, and I love that they give you this little line, so you can use that to line up things if you like. But I'm just looking to try and see where I can get that little tree kind of centered, maybe that little one there, kind of like that. So that looks like about where I'm going to want that tree to be. So now I'm going to grab my machine and bring it over. So I'm going to make my whole thing go up a little bit so you can see better just for a second. You might be able to see my pajama bottoms that I have on. I'm dressed on the top and pajama bottoms on the bottom. It's my work uniform. Okay, so I've got here, let me turn this around so you can see it better. This is the main plate, and it is, that doesn't look like it's still showing in camera. There we go. It is plate 1. And on this plate, it actually tells you the sandwiches. And one of them is with 3D embossing folders. They want you to use plate 1, then the embossing folder with the paper in it, and then plate 4. So that's what I have here. So that's plate 1. And this one here is plate 4. Turn that around too so you can see there's a little plate 4. Okay, so I'm going to put this in. Now, if I was to put this plate right on top, it would emboss the whole thing. So we don't want that. So I want to just have a little tiny bit right in here, remember? So I'm going to start by putting this here. So when I put this through, there's not going to be any pressure on here. So it's not going to emboss that. Even though it's actually in the embossing folder, it's not going to emboss that. Okay, so I'm going to do that. But then I only want a little bit. So I'm going to just crank this machine just a little bit when I get in here and then let it go. And I realize the handle is on the wrong side. So let me just flip this all around again. Nice thing about this machine is it goes both ways. Okay, so did that move on me? No, it still looks good. Okay, so I'm going to again put that like that. And now I'm going to, with my 5th hand, very carefully shove this in. Okay, till I can feel it start to kick. So now let me move this over a bit more so you can see. So I'm going to go and I can feel it catch right here. That's where the plate is starting. And I'm going to roll it one time and a little bit more. So you kind of got to watch where your handle is, and then I'm going to roll it back. And I'm going to hope that was just enough and not too much. So, yep, it did exactly what I wanted it to do. So let me hold that up so you can really see it. So you can see it's got that little tree in there that I wanted. And then just a little bit more, and then it kind of fades out on either side. So it's very pretty and very different than a regular embossing folder. So let me show you something else cool that you can do with that, and then I'll actually finish that card. And I have a couple others to show you. So I've got here an envelope, and I want to just do the flap because that's a fun thing to do. So I have to think about this for a second. If I put it in like that, the trees are going to be sideways. Put it in like that, the trees are going to be upside down. So it has to go in like this. And I want to line it up enough that the trees are going to go. So I might even go over just a little bit over the line. Now this is going to go in like this. And this time I can put the whole thing on because there's no embossing folder past that line of the envelope. And away we go. Okay, and now look at that. I have a beautiful embossed envelope to go with my card. Okay, so let me put this aside. So that is the same. Oh, you know what? I have another folder here. Let me just grab it. So these little ones, which is another one I did. Actually, I'll show you that card. So this is the Charming Landscapes. This one is in the mini catalog, and it's got this cute little mountains, and then also this cute little house scene. Okay, so start with the envelope. So that's easy enough to understand. So I did the same thing that I did with the other one, and I just tucked the envelope in there and ran it through. Okay. Now the so I wanted to get just the little house here. So what I did was I did the same thing. I put my paper in here. Now it doesn't matter that it's short, but I want to make sure I've got the house on there like that, Stampin' Up! Side, and then I ran it through like this. So it's the exact same thing, cutting off half of the image. Okay, so there's lots of ways you can move those things around. So let me pull this out and let me finish off that card, And then I got a couple more to show you. It's a really cool technique, and it's easy, and it's actually nice to make a quick and easy card with this. Let me go just move this back down again. Sure warned you there, so you didn't get seasick. Okay, so I'm going to put a little bit of ribbon on here, and I'll hold this up so you can see all the cool embossing on it when I'm finished. Now, I could have gone all the way on here, but I kind of like the fact that there's just a white space there. It's just different. And it kind of makes the person go, huh, how'd you do that? It looks very fancy, but when in fact it literally took a second. My husband always asks me to make cards for his business, and usually always after I'm, already busy doing mine. So I tend to make really simple cards for him. So this is like a perfect one because it's elegant and yet it doesn't take a lot of time. So I'm going to try and convince him on this, maybe on the house one, or something like that. Maybe, I don't know. I'll show you a couple and you can see what you think. Okay, so this is on Evening Evergreen, and the size of these panels were the Evening Evergreen was 5 1/4 by 4, and then the one inside is 5 by 3 3/4, so just 1/4 inch in each time. And of course the card base is a regular size of 5 1/2 by 8 1/2, folded in half. Now I promised. Hello, Rita. Rita, I saw you tried to call me, but I just couldn't grab the phone. And I wanted to take a moment here and do the bow slowly because someone had asked me about that last week. I promised I'd go slow this time. So let me do that. So to make a bow, first of all, I leave it on the spool. So I have lots of play. And I start by doing a loop like this. Just a loop, holding it in my fingers, wrapping it around my thumb, and then pushing it through. I might actually just do a slower video on this. And so I end up with like a really ugly looking bow like that. And then what you want to do is you want to start pulling the bow. So I'm pulling this, I'm pulling the ears, and each time I'm tightening it and making it look just a little prettier. So you see, I left quite a bit here. I probably could have gone closer to the end, but for demonstrating, I wanted to leave it. So there we have a nice looking bow now. Now, one of the things that I have, and I actually don't have it here because I just handed it to my husband, that might go on my Black Friday special is a bow maker. There's a really cool tool that I have, and I'm out of them, but I'm going to get my husband to engineer some more. And those are something that I might, he's pricing them for me. And so watch for that. And if it doesn't end up being here for Black Friday, it might be for another time. So I'm just adding a couple of glue dots, and then I'm going to press that bow on there. And let me just get all this out of the way so you can see. I love that Evening Evergreen. It is such a pretty Christmas green. Okay. Oops. Just throw the ribbon right on the floor. See, when the ribbon does that, I like to use another glue dot and make it go the way I want it to go. There we go. Okay. So let's hold this up here so you can see. So you can see that there's that partial emboss folder. We've got the beautiful matching envelope. So now I think this needs gems, right? It always needs gems. So let's do this. Iridescent rhinestones will look very pretty. And I'm going to grab 2 of the little ones here. One. I like that the saying has got a little curve to it too. Kind of fun. 1 and 2. Minus the hair. Or fuzz. I'm not sure which it is. Let's just try another one here. Okay, I'll hold this back up again so you can see it there. So just a little bit of bling on there. So this again was the stamp set Christmas to Remember. Nancy says, thanks for sharing. The mystery boxes are a great idea. Okay, so let me show you the house one that I mentioned. So here was the one with the folder. Now they're harder to see on camera, right? Because it's a raised panel, but I did put Wink of Stella all over the roof and along a few things, and I've added rhinestones to each of the little stars. So I'm hoping, just moving it back and forth. And then there was this long saying from one of the other stamp sets that just really fit on there nicely too. And that was this, where'd it go? This set here, hold on. The Charming Landscapes embossing folder. So that was the house. And then I've got another one here. This is from the main catalog. It's the Wintry 3D embossing folder. And there is a snowflake one and also pine leaves, which are really pretty. So this is this one. So you can see with this one, all I did was took the embossing folder right to here and then left this part blank white so that I could stamp my greeting. And then what I did was I took a blending brush. Here it is right here. And I grabbed a little bit of ink and then I rubbed quite a bit off on my scrap paper first and then lightly went over top. And that really brings that image right into the relief image, really makes it pop. And I just kind of did it lightly all over so it would be like it was snowfall. So this is actually my favorite one because it kind of it really pops more than the other ones. But when you see these in person, they're lovely because you get that 3D effect. And this one here, you've just got that little bit of trees. So I hope you like those. And I did an embossing folder for that one. I didn't do a snowflake one, but I'll do that. So let me just see what you guys are saying. So Nicole says, mystery boxes are a great fun idea. Rita says she missed out on the mystery box. I'm sorry. I'm still digging around to make sure that I don't have other stuff that I can make a few more boxes because I've got lots of paper and actually it's the stamp sets that I don't have lots of. So Nicole says she really likes the snowflake one. Allison says all great card ideas. Thank you. Thank you. Rita says she loves the snowflake ones. And Paulette says great tip for partial embossing. Yes, and I want to thank actually Kathy. She's on here, so hi Kathy. Thank you for requesting that because it was something that I haven't showed in quite a while, and it's a really fun little technique. So, okay, so I'm going to pop over to myself. And like I said at the beginning, if you missed or if you're catching the replay, you will have heard it. Mystery boxes are sold out, so I apologize for that. And I am looking at another special that I'm going to put out just because I feel bad that they sold out so fast. So have a look for that coming up either later today or possibly tomorrow morning. But I'll put an email out about that, okay? So wishing you all a nice weekend. If you're Black Friday shopping, enjoy. Hopefully you can do it remotely. And thanks so much for joining me, and I'll see you again next Friday. Take care. Bye-bye now.